So today it's the first episode in English, and I'm really happy about that. I'm really looking forward to it. So I'm with Z here today, and I know Z through Instagram, and she's doing. I admire her work, and I love what she's doing. If you have the video on, you can see one of her pieces in the background, and then you know what I'm talking about. And yeah, I would say with Z, just can you introduce yourself that the people know who is here with me?
Sure. Hi. Thank you so much for having me. It's so nice to meet you face to face, well, through a screen. But yeah, feel like we've been chatting for a while, kind of on and off, maybe a few years ago even, and then kind of lost each other and then reconnected recently. So yeah, it's super nice. So I'm Z, I'm 34, I'm Dutch, but I live in Cornwall in the UK, and I've been kind of well, I've lived here for 6 years, and before that I was living in Lombok and Australia. And I'm a full-time artist inspired by mostly the ocean, but kind of nature in general. And I create abstract interpretations of my views of it, if that makes sense.
Mhm. That
Yeah.
makes totally sense to me, at least. But I think to a lot of people who are listening as well, because that's why I invited you because of the ocean connection, and also
Yeah.
because you're like really free spirit, like living your passion.
Mm.
I think you have a really interesting story that I wanted to share with the others. So, do you want to tell me a little bit about what's your background, where you came from?
Yeah, sure. So, actually, since I was maybe 15 or 14, I already knew I didn't want to live in the Netherlands. So I was already planning in my mind how I was gonna get out of there as soon as possible. So when I was 19 or 20, I studied for a while. I studied animal care and wildlife research. That took 3 years, and I got to travel quite a lot through that as well, and volunteering in different countries. And that really set off like the travel bug and just need to explore and experience different cultures and extreme places, kind of. First place I went to that was more of a culture shock slash not really a shock, just something so different than where I came from, something that really makes me feel alive. That was in Thailand, and I also spent 4 months there, sorry, and in Tenerife as well. Um, Basically, the Netherlands is so bland, in my opinion. It's just all flat, and the nature, I mean, it's beautiful, but it doesn't do anything for me. I need like jungle and mountains and waterfalls and trails, and I just need to feel and see everything. So I was always just really craving that. And I think after Thailand, I just felt like I needed to see more, and I felt this um, kind of draw to visit Indonesia, and I really wanted to learn to surf as well and still explore also my creativity that I've kind of buried for a few years when I was not doing so well mentally, I would say, when I was in my late teens or early 20s. Um,
Mhm.
so when I was 23, I visited a friend for a few weeks in Western Australia, and she recommended this boot camp, surf camp, to me in Lombok. So I went there, and then I completely just knew that was the place for me. I fell in love with surfing, and I also found my partner there. He's English and he was already living there. So that was kind of meant to be as well. And we've been together for over 10 years now. um, but yeah, yeah, it's a bit of a long story. Let's see. Yeah, so first I visited there as like a tourist, and I stayed there for a few weeks, and then I had to go back to Australia because I already said yes to a job as a nanny. So I did that for almost a year. And in between, I went back and forth to Indonesia every 3 or 4 months. And then in 2015, I moved to Lombok for like 3 years. So we lived there in like a wooden shack in the jungle. Um, and that's also how I fell in love with what I do now, because I was working with the local shapers on the island, and they taught me how to do glassing and surfboard shaping and stuff. That's how I kind of reignited my creativity and artistic side. Sorry, that was such a
Amazing.
discombobulated story.
No,
But yeah.
it's perfect. It's perfect. It's perfect. I'm getting goosebumps all the time when you're talking. um, for all of the people who are listening and who don't know what's a shaper, do you want to
hmm
just explain a little bit what is shaping? Because that is also a big part of your art. So it's
Yeah.
good to understand.
Yeah, of course. So shaping means like the building of a surfboard. So you use foam and resin and wood and all kind of materials to create the board. And the guys I worked with, they were the first shapers in Lombok, and I was introduced to them when a friend of ours broke his board, and he had two more shaped by these guys, and he wanted to get some art done on the board. So he had me do that. Um, and eventually, um, I just started doing art on boards for free for like 1.5 years. And then
Uh-huh.
they kind of realized that they finally were making profit because the boards looked nicer, and then they started paying me as well. Uh, but that was my introduction to shaping as well. And they kind of taught me how to use resin, which is the what is it called? The liquid that turns into the hard shell around the board that makes it waterproof. Um,
I mean, I know what you're talking about. I did an instructor surf as well. I was teaching surf even.
yeah, okay.
So I know about shapes and stuff, and
Yeah.
we have in Portugal quite some cool shapers as well. So I was visiting
Yeah.
fabrics and also Morocco. Friends of mine are shaping, so it's really incredible to look at that as well because just the shaping itself is an art already. How
Oh
they are
yeah.
shaping boards,
It's
so
incredible.
beautiful. Also, how was that process for you to just like be like, oh, I'm leaving Netherlands, going abroad to the other countries, and then also going into this arts
Yeah.
instead of with the wildlife you did before? How was that for you? Like, how was the process for you?
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. Is I actually was offered a job in Thailand to work with my friend there in an elephant sanctuary, um, which she took the job and she's still there, which is amazing. But I knew
Wow.
deep down something was telling me like this is not the place for you. And although it would have been like a dream come true as well on paper, it didn't make sense to me. Like I just knew I had to get to Indonesia and do other things first. And yeah, I just felt like I needed to follow that gut instinct. And I'm really glad I did because it changed my whole life and everything around it. Um, but the going away it didn't feel like a big deal. It was just something I had to do. And yeah, of course, it's sad to say goodbye to family and friends and stuff, but I just knew um, there was so much more out there to see, and everything else since then, I've kind of, yeah, of course, I worked my ass off to get where I am now, but I feel like I've been also given opportunities or like taken a lot of risks to get to where I am now, and just follow my feeling when I have to make big life decisions. And when it's the right one, it feels like a calm decision. Um, yeah.
I feel 100% aligned to that. Like I'm getting goosebumps the entire time. It's crazy because that's why I was also drawn somehow. I don't
Mm,
even know how I came to your profile because I think there's no friend in common on Instagram.
yeah.
It's so funny, but as you years ago, I saw your art and I knew, wow, I need to connect with you. And when I started the podcast, I knew I want you to be in the podcast.
No way.
And it's funny because everything what you're saying, I feel totally the same. And in my coachings, I'm helping the others to feel that intuition, what you were talking about, this
Yeah.
gut feeling, to do the decision feeling
Yeah.
based, even though it's a risk.
Yeah.
And you said some important things right now, also, like, because I can totally identify myself with that. Like so many times where I was like, oh God, what am I doing here? But I'm so happy that I took all the risks,
Yeah.
all the downtimes as well, all the moments where I was like, oh, I miss my family. First year
Yeah.
in Portugal, I didn't see them for almost an entire year, even not on Christmas because of Corona.
Yeah.
But it was
Sorry.
still, I'm so happy I did all of that. And I
Yeah, of
also
course.
always felt really good abroad because I was
Yeah.
studying in Florida when I was 21.
Wow.
Then I was working in Portugal with automotive, and now I'm in Portugal for 4 years. Last year, 5 months
Amazing.
in Asia. So I also love to be abroad.
Yeah.
Um, and I think this gives a lot of inspiration to others because just this like doing it because it feels right and
Yeah.
knowing, as you said with Thailand, okay, that's a dream for sure for so many people
Yeah.
working with elephants. But as you said, it doesn't have to make sense to anyone else but to you, and
Yeah.
that's so beautiful. How you
Hmm.
told about that story is so beautiful because
Yeah.
that's actually exactly how it is.
Hmm.
And knowing something is there, you have to go there. It's drawing you there,
Yeah. It keeps
like
coming
pulling
back
you there.
in your head.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I can totally understand that everything what you're saying. Um, so what would you say? Did you always had this kind of gut feeling that you knew this is right, this is wrong for you, or was it something that somehow built up through the years, or what would you say? How did this come up in your life with the intuition, gut feeling?
Um, I think I've always had that, and I've always been very sensitive, which when I was younger, I guess wasn't understood that well, and I didn't even understand. I didn't find out I was an introvert till I was like 24 or something. And then I look back and I see that I've put myself in situations where and it's good that that you push yourself sometimes, but in jobs or situations that just don't suit your personality or the way you work. Um, so I think I always knew I could never picture myself in a normal job or in a normal life. But there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just not for me. And I could never see it. Even if other people could picture their 5 or 10 years ahead, I was always like, well, what I'm seeing around me, that's not it for me. So I need to find my own way because none of the examples I see are aspirational for me personally. So then you have to go out and do it yourself and become that yourself and just write your own story. And literally, when you find out you can do whatever the fuck you want, sorry that I'm swearing, but
Okay.
literally, you can just make something up, and that is your life, you know?
Yeah,
It's crazy. Yeah. And the
it
rewards are
is.
so much bigger when you do take the risks and not follow the standard path if you know that's not for you. And I think a lot of
Absolutely.
people have this gut feeling and intuition naturally, but just the way our society is set up and how the patriarchy is set up, we are forced to dumb that down and push it down until we can just be robots functioning for capitalism, basically. And we push our creativity aside and our sensitivities and our that side of ourselves where we become so disconnected and living a life that is not right for us. So, yeah. What about
Absolutely.
you?
I think for
Did you
me
always have
it's
that as
really
well?
similar. I mean, I was since I'm small, I was into waters, always,
Mm.
always. Each vacation we did was at the ocean.
Yeah.
I was teaching kids how to swim when I was in school. I was 5 times a week in the swimming pool.
Oh.
My hair was always smelling like chlorine all the
Yeah.
time. And I was also joining some competitions, but I didn't really enjoy it that much. So to be competing, because then I was literally 7 days a week in the pool, and that was for me
Wow.
not fun anymore because I was at school as well and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. You
So
have
then I
other
just did the
things to do as well.
hobby, yeah. And yeah, later on, and I graduated in music and biology and languages in
Okay.
school.
Wow.
Um, but I decided to study economics afterwards, which was a more rational based
Mm-hmm.
idea. It was good for me because I could keep music as a hobby, playing flute, singing in the choir, all my
Mm.
water sports and stuff, which I started surfing with 21.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, surfing was always my escape from work.
Yeah.
Um, so I loved the study times. It was amazing. It gave me a lot of opportunities. I had a scholarship to go to Florida. So I was studying in West Palm Beach next to Miami, which was
Wow, so good.
amazing.
Yeah.
I was traveling an entire month afterwards in California with a friend and then also alone a little bit. And amazing things happened. And I would say like all this gave me a lot of yeah, I knew there already that I want to go in a direction where I want to be closer to the ocean all the time. But still, I was working with automotive for 8.5 years in total.
Yeah.
I'm 32 now, so I started with 18, and I know what you're saying because I was doing that basically without recognizing. I was dumping down my sensitivity and my
Yeah.
emotions. So I always thought I am too sensitive, I am too emotional, I'm crying
Yeah.
too quickly. And I'm a really creative person. I was always into, I had a food blog in one time, created my own logo for that with a designer together because
Yeah.
I just like did a sketch and they did
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
rest. And yeah, so it's so funny because I figured out with 26 that I'm high sensitive, and I never knew that my entire life before. And
Yeah.
then suddenly it all made sense, and I was like, "Wow, that's why." Because crying
Yeah.
for me is gift. I love to cry. It's like so
Yeah.
releasing and
Yeah. You need to
it
cry.
feels so good. Like
Healthy.
when somebody says, "Don't cry," I'm like, "Yes, I want to cry. Let that
Yeah.
out.
Let me
Let me
cry.
do that."
Yeah.
And it's really cool. And yeah, the funny thing is, all these years in automotive, they gave me also a lot of uh, like it was so cool because it was really various. I was working in so many different areas in
Mhm.
marketing, in like promoting, recruitment, so many things,
Yeah.
moderating. So for me, it was perfect because I love business. It's weird to say that, but I love to sell. I love money. I love to earn good. I love to
Yeah.
do really good business.
Yeah, of
But all
course.
this is me, the creativity, the water, the physical sports and the waters, and then also the business aspect. So becoming a coach made it possible for me to implement all of these factors
Yeah. You
basically
have everything
and still
together.
be creative.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the funny thing is that I was first moving to Berlin
Mm-hmm.
because I had to get out of my conservative city in Germany where I
Yeah.
was growing up. And I still love that city and it's amazing there. But yeah, I had to go to an inspiring creative field. And the
Yeah.
funny thing is, I went there because before I went to Bali. And so I know what you're talking about. Bali was my starting point to change my entire life as well.
Yeah.
I did a yoga teacher training in the jungle with vegan food,
Good.
and it was feeling so good. So I know
Yeah.
exactly what you're talking about, connecting with nature.
Yeah.
I had to bring a meditation pillow, and I thought I'm not going to buy a meditation pillow. I do one by myself. So
Yeah.
I designed one and brought it. And everyone was like, "Wow, what's that? It's so beautiful. Oh, I want to have one." And then when I came back, I straight away started to design meditation pillows out of recycled yarn of old
Mm-hmm.
hoodies and shirt material,
Oh, so
which is
clever.
not needed. And then
Yeah.
inside is filled with organic seeds and stuff. And I was taking off sewing class and stuff to do an inside sewing and stuff. And it's so funny, through that, my brand Merle was created basically. And
Yeah.
then I
Yeah.
helped others to create their own meditation pillows. And that was the first moment where I saw the pillow and I thought, wow, I earned like some money about that. It was not much, but I was like, wow, I earned my own money. And that was a moment
Yeah.
for me
You
where I was
made
like,
that.
wow, this is so much better. Yes, so much better. Like
Yeah.
seeing that product that was built by yourself and then
Yeah.
going for that. So it was my moment where I was
Yeah.
like, I know I want to do my own. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's no
Cool.
going back now. Oh, I love your
Yeah, but
story.
and
Beautiful.
how is that for you now? These days you are living in Cornwall. So how did it come that you moved to Cornwall then?
Yeah, so I was in Lombok for 3 years, and there I was working. So my partner was doing like higher level surf coaching, and I was doing some photography for the surf camp, like selling photos to the guests. And I was also managing a little vegetarian bakery for a while. And then I was working with the shapers and then doing my own art on the side, but that was not yet bringing in money. I was just kind of experimenting and developing my craft. Then after 3 years, we were like, okay, my partner had been there for 4 years, and we were kind of realizing that the place was changing and dynamics were changing, and also we were changing because I was 28 at that time. And doing that life where you're living really day to day is super valuable. You don't think about the future. You're living like hand to mouth. What comes in money wise goes out right away. It's very simple way of life, which is amazing, and I'm so glad I experienced that. um it teaches you a lot, and just to be in the moment and not make too many future plans and just enjoy what is there in front of you. But yeah, when we got a little bit older, like reaching the end of our 20s, we realized that we wanted a change of scenery, actually, and kind of um yeah, be in a different place where we can develop ourselves more. um so we decided to move back to Australia for an indefinite time and then go to New Zealand. But after 6 months, something happened and I was deported from Australia. So then I ended up back in the Netherlands for a few weeks while my partner was like selling our car and selling all of our stuff. And then he came to the Netherlands as well, and we were like, okay, now we have to start again. Like, what are we gonna do? Then we decided to go to Cornwall because my partner had studied here already, and we knew some friends here, and it was kind of a good middle ground restarting place because you can also surf here, and the nature is really beautiful, and we knew people here, and we had a friend who had a room in a shared house. So within 2 weeks, we had moved here, and my partner found a job, and I decided for the first time to rent a studio and not have any side jobs. So before then I had always like 3 or 4 jobs plus the art, and now I was just gonna rent a studio and just take a risk and like give it my all, like all my time and energy, and just see if it can grow into something that also sustains me financially. And then pretty much after 3 months, it was already bringing in money, and since then it's just been growing, and I've been full-time since like the end of 2018. Yeah. So
Amazing.
that's how that happened. Yeah.
Congrats to that. It's amazing. It's such a
Thank
brave,
you.
brave way of yeah, of doing it, and
Thank
amazing. It's funny
you.
because there's a lot of parallels, I would say. Like
Yeah.
with me, I realized that the meditation pillows, they wouldn't bring in the money that I could live from. It was feeling like a paid hobby.
Yeah.
But I realized I was teaching yoga then and doing the pillows, and for me it was a good kind of like break mentally to just be creative doing work
Yeah.
which is more grateful to others,
Yeah.
so like bringing more value to others. And I was constantly, wherever I went, people said, oh, can you take this yoga class? And I got my own yoga classes. I even brought my own style in, was singing with them in the gym, and the
Wow.
manager of the gym was not amused about that in the beginning. She was like, you can't do that. And I was like, well, let me give it a try. If it doesn't work
Yeah.
out, it's fine, but I want to do my own style. And
Yeah.
I'm not so, I'm not that hyper spiritual but I love to sing, and singing brings an amazing vibration in the body.
Mm.
So I wanted people to have that experience, even though it's a gym. And I did that, and all the guys who were like just like all the time pumping, they were coming in my class to sing.
Yes.
It was so
Oh,
fun.
I love
The,
that.
the manager of the studio decided to extend my classes to make them longer and pay me
Mhm.
more, and cancel the
No.
class afterwards that no one was going there. So it was really funny. And there I also realized, as you said, that yeah, just being me and doing my stuff and even taking the risk of
Yeah.
whatever, because I was like, whatever, if she doesn't like it, I'll just leave the studio. I don't care.
Yeah. You have to try
Um,
though.
it was really cool. Yeah, just try and be brave and be yourself and just
Yeah.
experiment and go for it. And I also realized, I mean, I did them workshops with the meditation pillows and all that, and everything was unfolding. But I also realized I did a coaching apprenticeship mainly in Berlin as well, because I
Yeah.
wanted to have a coach by my side. But I
Mhm.
never could find someone where I was looking up to, which I wanted to become or something.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, my friend asked me to come to Portugal, or to come with her for vacation in Portugal, because she was never in Portugal.
Yeah.
And I was not really in the mood to go, but she convinced me. So we went for 1 week to Portugal.
Yeah.
Uh, Lockdown was opening up the borders, so we were able to fly. And after a week, she went back. I said I'll stay 1 more week because I
Mhm.
was already self-employed. And then at the first day while surfing, one girl offered me a room, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna live here now. And she said, okay, your choice.
Yeah.
And
Are
next
you
day, it was stuck in my head, and I was like, oh God. So yeah, I was living with that woman then for 2 years. Moved in,
Oh, yeah.
Brazilian.
Yeah.
So I learned straight away Portuguese fluently, and I did crazy. So I did so many meditation pillows, because the funny thing is that the material, it's produced in Netherlands and Portugal. So I did some deals with them because I was always negotiating
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the job I had before, and I knew how to do it. So I
Yeah.
did
Yeah.
some negotiations with them. They shipped me over the material. And yeah, I did, I think, 70 pillows or something for
Oh,
Kickstarter
that's
and stuff. So
crazy.
it was really like,
Yeah.
and the
Amazing.
funny thing is, it's just as you say, I was like pulled to that place. And once I arrived, like some days later, I already moved in that
Yeah.
flat share. And then also at the same time, the diving school, and I was never scuba diving before. And they
Mhm.
asked me, do you want to do an internship as a dive master in our place? Do you want to become a dive master? I was like, what?
Who gets offered
No,
that
I
as
don't
well?
know.
That's
And then everyone around was like, you're crazy. Go for it. Go for it. That's an amazing offer. And I was like, but I want to
yeah.
surf. And I was really stubborn. And then I was like, okay, I'll have a look. And then they offered me this opportunity and said, we won't pay you, but you can work for us and get all the scuba classes for free. And so I said, okay, but I don't want to sit in an office again, but I
Yeah.
would do social media for you guys. And
Yeah.
then I did sales and Instagram and Facebook for them, and started with underwater photography, just hobby
Mhm.
style. And so they slowly became all the clients came back, because they had an problem with Corona. Logically, like every tourism
Yeah, of course.
area had a problem with that.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and so yeah, they got back to their clients and stuff. And in the meantime, I was starting straight away my coaching business in Portugal online. So yeah, so it was just flowing like crazy. So I know exactly
Wow.
what you're talking about.
Everything just fell into place when you just said yes to one thing, then everything else
Absolutely.
follows.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like magic. I was feeling like, what is going on here? It was
Yeah.
magic, really.
Yeah.
And all the time, I still had in my head, I want to do surf. I want to do surf, even though the scuba was amazing and I felt absolutely in love with scuba diving. I
Mhm.
did all courses. Within 8 months, became a dive master and was leading some dives. Every time when I was out in the ocean, I received a request for coaching as well. So I felt all this energy, which was created, also pulled all the clients in. So it was just
Mhm.
like crazy. And
It just
creativity has been always hard,
yeah.
because I need to be creative, to keep my mind calm, to to
Yeah.
express myself. And also I felt I was selling them in the shops around, but I
Hmm.
realized that okay, once in a while someone buys something, but for me I was implementing it in the coaching then. So then I was feeling okay, each client gets a pillow, so like this is implemented and they
Yeah,
have
yeah.
a personalized item.
Yeah.
So how did you manage it to be like going full in as an artist and being like, okay, wildlife, that was cool, but not your dream. So you just went all in. How was that process for you? How was it
Yeah.
that you said, okay, I'm all in now?
Um, yeah, I think the wildlife and the nature background is now incorporated in an artistic way in my work, and the nature appreciation is the study that I did was more of a logical, like practical kind of course. And of course what I'm doing now is art, so that's kind of the opposite part of your brain even. But I feel like I use my inspiration from nature for my work. Well, that's literally what I do. So connected, but I'm just using it in a different way. And I think that the course was a good introduction for me to go traveling and to really appreciate nature and animals. And that's also what helped me start to become first vegetarian. Now I've been vegan for almost 7 years, kind of trying to respect nature in every aspect of my life and trying to live as aligned as possible. Um, so in a way that it's not like that ended and then this started. It kind of flowed into what I'm doing now, just it has taken a different form.
I think everyone understands what you mean because it's really beautiful. I can feel what you mean. You know, it's like really, I think you put it well into words. What would you say helped yourself to become more visible, getting more followers and selling your arts more? What helped you for that?
I think I didn't want to start an Instagram when I was in Lombok because we actually lived without internet for the first 2 years, where we had to drive for 20 minutes to get to an internet cafe, and there was maybe some internet there. Like there was no 4G or 3G or anything. So I was loving being offline, but of course, if you want to be seen and like be connected to the world, you have to show your art or your work or whatever you're creating, your courses. You have to be online, otherwise it is really hard to get your work out there. So I did start an Instagram at one point, and then first I was just kind of starting to post my process and a little bit of where I was living, like the inspiration of the waves underwater and from seen from above, from like cliff tops and textures in the nature surrounding me. And I wasn't really showing myself so much because I would rather just post the art and like call it a day. But what I've found is that when you that's actually what people told me to do, like show more about yourself and like share about yourself and your vision and your thoughts and your um really the thought process behind the work and um parts about your life as well, which is kind of scary because I really, on one hand, like I want my work to be known, but I don't want to be known necessarily. I would rather just be invisible, but I do know that since I've started sharing more about my personal life or about myself, people are more invested in me, it seems, as well, when they get to know you. And I've become friends with a lot of my clients and collectors as well. And I've met amazing people because of Instagram and had opportunities to work with some incredible brands like Album Surfboards in California and Volkswagen as well. Actually, that came through a client who saw my work in a cafe, but still, like, I don't know if you have the same, but I have a little bit of a love-hate relationship with social media because I think we all know that it can be super toxic in a way. And I do think that we should be worried about where this is going with our society and especially the generations below us and like children growing up with the screens and with social media. I think yeah, we have to be more discerning about that. But at the same time, it has provided so much freedom for me, and you know, I've been able to connect with so many people that I would have never met, like yourself and so many other people. So yeah, I think you just have to find the right balance. And I think for everyone that's different. Like some people are super happy oversharing or sharing little bits about themselves. It's just what feels right for you, and you don't have to follow trends, or you don't have to look at someone's profile and think, oh, they're successful, or I need to be like them, or I need to do things that they're doing. Just find your own voice and your own style, and the people will come. Like, just be yourself, basically. Yeah, I think
That's
that's what.
perfect. You put it perfectly on the point. I would have said basically all the
Okay.
last part the same, because that's exactly it. That's what we're doing in
Yeah.
the coaching process as well. That because it's so important, you become your own voice, as you say, or
Yeah.
getting your own voice out, the sparkle out, and to really shine, and then everything comes into life when you're
Yeah.
talking about it. Um, you were really like easily going over these topics, so I want to get some of them back with Volkswagen. You mentioned Volkswagen, which is funny because I mean I've been working for them
Yeah.
for quite a
I
long
couldn't
time.
believe it when you said that when we started chatting a while ago.
Yes,
Of course.
yes, and you said you were doing some designs for them. So do you want to tell a little bit more about that project, because I think that's a really cool thing that you were able to do there.
Sure. Yeah, that was last summer actually. That's definitely one of my craziest commissions I've done. So it wasn't directly through Volkswagen actually. The client, he used to work in like the solar energy industry, and he was visiting this little village in Perranporth nearby here. And there's some big artworks of mine hanging up in this restaurant. So he saw them and he really liked them, and he contacted me, and he had this crazy idea where he had just bought this brand new electric Volkswagen van, and he had been like paying this other company to kit it out like camper van, and then he made it fully sustainable, like all solar powered, and then he wanted to get me to basically do the art for the van on the outside. But I think a lot of people don't realize that I have to put the art, like I can't just paint on a canvas where it's standing up straight, because the medium I use is liquid and it just would fall off the panel or the wall or whatever. So it has to lie down. So we had to think about how we would get our art on the van. So in the end, we decided that I made two huge commission custom artworks, like two originals. And then my partner, he photographed them to super high resolution and created them into one big file. And then this local company, the Cornish Print Company, they made it into a vinyl print, and they applied it to the van. So that's how the end result came to be. And then we did a photo shoot and some videos and stuff together. And it's actually, the van is for his own private use right now, but I think he's in the process of starting his own business as well. So maybe in the future it will be used as kind of a like a driving business card, basically. So that's great for me as well. But yeah, that was a
Yeah.
really cool process to be a part of.
Mhm.
Yeah.
How is also with the album Surf, what you said with the surf brand?
Mhm.
How was that? So you created also the resin of the surfboards or the design, or
Mhm.
how was that
Yeah.
cooperation like?
Um, so I was following them on Instagram for a few years already, especially when I was still painting on surfboards, and I just became obsessed with their designs. And then one day I was just like, it would be my dream to work with them. So I literally just messaged him on Instagram to just ask because he had a few boards that had already this what looked like art or a photo incorporated into the board. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so obsessed and I need to know how this is done. And maybe one day we can work together. So I literally just messaged him and he said, yeah, let's do it. Yeah, it was crazy. Then it just kind of happened. So I made these original paintings, and again, we photographed them, and then we had this sent to this company that prints on fiberglass, and then he incorporated that into the boards in California. So we never actually met. This was all via, yeah, Instagram and then email. Um, and then he did three to begin with, and they all went really fast, I think. Um, and then we did two or three more after. So yeah, that's kind of a cool example where you just think, you know, F it, I'm just gonna reach out to someone, and you already have a no. Like, not doing anything means you're definitely not gonna do it, but if you ask, you can sometimes get a yes or a maybe a not now, but maybe in a year or something. So I'm kind of have that attitude with most things. Yeah, never try, never know, you know? So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's exactly, never try, never know. I love that because yeah, I'm also like that. And
Yeah,
I
I
think
can tell.
that's yeah, beautiful example also for everyone who's listening, that it's just like it also needs dedication and time. I think that's also a
Yeah.
big thing, because you haven't just started and be like, oh, let's, okay, some people are really quick in developing, but also
Mhm.
in my idea, if you want to have a sustainable business which has like, which has a long lifetime for the future as well, as you
Yeah.
said, it needs time and dedication and passion, and also days where it's not cool, where you're
Yeah,
like,
of
oh
course.
god, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
all part of, that's important. And then also to just dream and to be like, oh, I would wish to whatever, and that just comes when you're letting this desire getting out of you, like to
Yeah.
really feel. um and yeah, it's really cool. Do you have any current dream that you would love to realize?
Ooh. It's kind of weird because lately I told you a little bit, there's been some really bad stuff happening back home in my family, and like the past few months have been quite, I would say, discombobulating. Like I haven't felt that grounded, and um I've kind of just been living month to month and just creating and selling, which is great. And I love that as well. And I feel like the previous years I've thought more about big projects, or, oh, I really want to accomplish this or that. And this year I've kind of um, just live more in the now and just enjoy the process of creating rather than making big goals, because I also feel like that's important, and just focus on the practice and development. And I have created some like really new things, like the clear objects. That was actually something that the year before I really wanted to do, but that's more of a creative thing. But this year, and I haven't really told many people, we actually just bought our dream house, which is an eco home, which is 2 minutes from
Mm.
here. So that's something we're moving in September, and we're also building a studio, which has also been my dream for like, well, since the beginning. I have a studio now in my neighbor's garden, which is amazing, and I love it. But to have like a bit of the garden in the new house that's just for me, where I can really think, okay, how can I make the most practical and inspiring space for my work? That's kind of a dream that I'm making a reality this year. So that's kind of as far as I'm thinking now, because it's all been a lot in my head and I can only handle so many things at once. So yeah, that's something I really look forward to. And then from there, I actually had this conversation yesterday with and my boyfriend, like, oh, I feel like I haven't really been thinking ahead about stuff I want to do or accomplish with my career at the moment. And he also said, yeah, it's normal. Like, you have so much going on right now, and you can't think that far ahead when in the current moment there is so much to think about. At least for me, I don't know, my brain is just full. But I think once I'm in the house and have the studio, I can think more ahead again. And I'm sure some crazy ideas will come up again and I'll find out a way to get there. That makes sense. Yeah.
Amazing.
What about you?
Yeah. Oh, first let me just finish up that topic and then I'll answer your question because what I find beautiful is also I believe that everything in life just happens in that moment for a reason, and like every phase in life is important. That you are building your house now, which is also meaning you're grounding more. And you
Yeah,
said you need this, but you're
yeah,
building a house which is beautiful because you're having your own studio in your own house, and that
yeah,
helps you ground as well. So you're saying or sometimes you're not I think people are not aware about, oh yeah, I'm doing this now, but that is a big dream that you're fulfilling yourself right
yeah,
now.
it
And
is. Yeah.
that's really beautiful because yeah, we're all changing throughout the years. When I was 21, I was happy to be in a hostel in South Beach, Miami.
Oh yeah.
Now I couldn't be in a hostel
No,
sharing rooms. I'm like, oh God, no,
like
please.
other people. No,
Yeah,
leave me
with
alone.
strangers, with
Yeah,
five people, someone switches on the light in the middle of the night. We're like, oh God. And at that time, I didn't care about that. And
absolutely.
yeah, so it's really cool and this process to see that. So you asked about my dream. For me, it's also like, I mean, I've fulfilled quite some dreams of mine already. So I'm living at the ocean.
Yeah.
Literally here right now at the ocean because it's a bit, I hear the waves today.
Oh,
And a lot
so
of
good.
animals outside which are really loud, but I think you can't hear them right now. Um,
No, no.
because I'm just quite close. So they're really making noise, but it's a calming
Okay.
noise. So it's a silence noise.
Yeah.
So yeah, this already fulfilled a dream of mine to live at the ocean, and I started to live in the beginning in flat shares, but also
Mhm.
because I wanted to live with others and I needed
Yeah.
that. And then after 2 years, I moved to another. Like the first 2 years, I was living with locals basically, or she was already living 12 years here. She's from Brazil. And then later on, I moved to the West Coast, living in a house with four others who are also having their own business. And
Yeah.
we had a beautiful house with pool, and the owner was living above, and she
Wow.
was used to travel before like crazy, and that's why she created this place for others to live there. She's still a friend of mine, and it was beautiful. If she's listening to this, I'm so grateful for that time. It was beautiful. So
Mhm.
it was really a second home for me. Like,
Yeah.
um, and then they were growing fruits in the garden, and like we sometimes they had a pizza oven in the garden. So she was building all this by herself with the help
Yeah.
of others. She's a really power woman, like
Mhm.
having a
It's
baby at the
inspiring.
same time. So yeah,
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
listening to that. I'm really really yeah,
An
proud of
idol.
her.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I was slowly realizing like, oh, I really admire to have my own place again, my own apartment.
Yeah.
So end of last year, I moved finally into my own apartment again, renting. I think this is already a big dream that just came true, to be
Yeah.
self-employed with my business that I love,
Yeah.
being
And pay
able to
your
go
own
to
bills with that. Like,
pay my
that's
own
amazing.
bills with that,
Yeah.
have a really good life. I implemented a really good life standard in my life with that. I can go traveling whenever I want to. Last year with Asia, I realized a big dream of mine, being 5 months traveling and working. So all the
Yeah.
expenses I had already came back in while traveling. And I was diving a lot, making so cool new connections. And yeah, oh, this is already that I really live my dream all the
Yeah.
time already. But what made it even more, and also all the I have so many interests, and finally I can all live them all and
Hmm.
be at the beach, but also be in the water, also
Yeah.
free diving, being part of. I would never thought that I will be part of joining Portuguese national competitions, and yeah, that's something I wouldn't have thought about before.
Yeah.
Also, you asked for my biggest dream. So my actual biggest dream is diving with humpback whales, and everyone who knows me knows about that because I'm
Yeah.
talking non about that topic. And And yeah, finally, I mean, I haven't told anyone in public yet, just friends know about that. But next week, I'm going to head off to French Polynesia to finally realize that dream of mine. And that
Oh
is
my God.
somehow it's a really big calling. Like, I can't
Mm.
say why. It's I have never also been a fan of a tattoo, and I got a tattoo of a humpback whale on my ribs uh 2 years ago, I think. And I had that idea for more than 5 years to really be sure that I really want that.
Yeah.
And it's something that I can't explain logically, but I just have to dive with humpback whales. There
Mm.
is no logical yeah, explaining for that, but my
Yeah.
feeling
No, me
said
too.
I have to go there.
Yeah.
So I'm going there, and I know that something will happen. Know that some things will change and I will develop again. And yeah, it's something that I don't question this stuff anymore. And also, this is how I found all my places where I was living, because this
Mm.
place where I'm right now, I basically was just cooking in my last place with the window open, heard my neighbors, went outside. We had a shed. They invited me for cake and coffee right in that minute,
Yeah.
and said, I have a friend who's renting out her house. She's the owner of
Yeah.
the house.
Dude.
Wait a minute. And that moment, she rang the doorbell
No.
and she said, yeah, you can live there. You can live there. And that's where I'm living right now. So
Yeah,
it's
that's
really crazy.
incredible.
And
Yeah.
life is just like that. Not all the time. It can also be stuck sometimes. But
Of course. Yeah.
when you know, it's just, I sometimes don't find words for how that is possible to happen.
Hmm.
It's like
There are no
you release
words. Yeah.
something, yeah, then
Oh,
another door
it's so
opens.
amazing. And it's
Yeah,
also
so that's my
knowing,
dream.
yeah, then you're gonna do it now. And for years, that this is it for you, and you're, thanks to you following your intuition every step, and now being at this point, and you can now go and answer that call that's coming from inside your soul, thanks to the job that you're doing, which you created for yourself. Like, isn't that the most amazing
And
thing?
that's the most beautiful thing what I could advise also to everyone who's listening, because the cool thing is that my goal was never, of course money is a thing, and I want to earn good money to have all these opportunities.
Yeah, of course.
um And for me, money is important, definitely. Everyone who says money is not important, they say that because they have money. But money is
Yeah.
always important. But
Yeah.
the thing is, for me, that I always had these goals behind, like, I want to inspire people. That's why I'm doing this podcast. I want people to live their passion,
Yeah.
because we live one time in our lifetimes, and I want to make an impact and a change in the world. And
Yeah.
then also at the same time living my own passions, and through that inspiring others. And it's so cool because, like, this everything is just unfolding. A woman was asking me, who's a friend right now as well already,
Hmm.
if I can coach her to be comfortable in the water, for instance. So I gave her out of the
Mm.
blue water coaching, and I never did that before. I was
Yeah.
teaching in the water with diving and swimming, but water coaching therapy wise, I mean, I can't call it therapy officially, but it was really like it included some traumas which we resolved and released. And I was never thinking about that I'm able to make people be
Yeah.
comfortable in the water again.
But you're putting all
And
of your experiences and your skills together. And that's something maybe one day you can branch off into as well, as a thing on the side, or even just here and there when someone comes to you, that's something you can provide. That's amazing.
definitely. I mean, what's happening, it's happening all the time like that, basically. That's why I created, and that's so funny about it. I created my brand and it's called Merle Aid. So it's like the mermaid, but with my
Hmm.
name. But
Yeah.
at the same time, it's like Merle helps. So it's
Yeah.
actually, it's that space for me where I just include everything that I love. And that's the cool thing about it. And yeah, that's why I would like to, like, really yeah, cheer up everyone who's listening that you're able to do it, because
Yeah,
it's
you
not that we
are.
were born
You really
differently than
are.
others.
Yeah.
We were not born differently than anyone else. We're all the same. We're all human beings.
Hmm.
um everyone has their struggles, as you just said, that you're also going through a time. Everyone has times like that, but it's about you to make it happen. And I think that's one message that would be really nice if people who are listening to this taking that with them.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
yeah. It was really lovely to talk to you. So if
You
you have
too.
one
I feel
more thing,
inspired again. I feel like, yeah, I don't know. I kind of also hearing your story and just chatting kind of reignited my own excitement about my what I'm doing as well. Because I feel lately it's been such a hard time. You kind of it gets bit put on the back burner because it doesn't seem like a priority, and it isn't when something shitty is happening. But yeah, I think it's nice to be reminded and talk about things like this because yeah, it is important to keep motivated and stay inspired even when things are tough, you know? So thanks for that. And thanks for
no
having me.
worries. It was a pleasure for me because I think that is something that you can be so proud of, you know, the way you went in your life. I think it will inspire a lot of other people through this
Mm,
podcast now as well. So for me, it was also important
thank
to
you.
show this to others because even though you're saying you're introverted, but it's really beautiful to listen to that story. And I think the way we are going, it's not the easiest we chose, but at the
Yeah.
same time, it's so inspiring for others. And I think it's part of our job, let's say, to
Yeah.
bring this into the world, you know, to not
Yeah,
hide
totally.
and keep it for yourself, but just showing it to
Yeah,
others.
you're right.
It's beautiful. Yeah. So
Likewise.
if you have one message that you want to share with the people who are listening, what would that be?
Ooh, put me on the spot here. Um, I think what a lot of people get held back by from making a move is that they're worried about what other people think if they do something that's out of the norm or out of the box. But actually, when you realize that no one cares and no one is actually thinking about you, not in a cynical way, but like everyone is too busy with their own stuff and their own worries, like no one cares what you're doing, and you can literally just go out and do what you want. And it's your life, and you don't have to live up to anyone's expectations of you. You're responsible for your own life path and like answer to the calls that are coming from within you, and just go for it and don't waste your time.
Amazing.
Shit you hate.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it, I would
It's
say.
beautiful what you're saying. I love it. I love it. Like, and I think it's so important, like everything what you said, because you have to realize that it's about your life and not about everyone else. And the funny part is that you're gonna inspire others anyways the way you do it, even though
Yeah,
some people will be triggered, but
yeah,
others will be also inspired. So you will even help others while doing what you love.
yeah,
And I think
exactly.
that's the best out of everything. Like it just
Yeah.
fits all into pieces.
Hmm.
Amazing. It was lovely to have you here.
Thank you so
I
much.
will, thank you. I will share Z's Instagram as well in the show notes. So everyone who wants to have a look at her art because it's beautiful and I can highly recommend
Thank
looking at it,
you.
really. Um, I'm a big fan of you. So yeah, um, have a look at her art and also follow the podcast. We would both be happy to have 5 stars for this show. And yeah, have fun with listening.
Thank you.